Okay, guys, welcome back to the second episode on exit questions that VCs might ask you. Now, in this episode, we're going to ask, why is someone going to buy this, right? If you want to know the answer, stick with me right now.
Ask Alex. Ask Alex. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
So what does investor mean when they say, why is someone going to buy this? Well, the investor wants to know why someone is literally going to buy you, rather than just whom, okay, which we dealt with in the previous episode. Now, what value are you building that will be worth their consideration, their attention? Why are they going to go running after you and then want to give you money? No one is going to buy you for goodwill, right? They're not charity. Now, as we mentioned in the last episode, they buy you for two reasons. Do you know what they are? Financial or strategic reasons, right? If you're a financial buy, you need to make a lot of money and free cash flow or high top-line revenue. More likely is a strategic reason, such as they broaden their client access, generate cost synergies, revenue synergies, or even help them remain relevant. Snapchat bought Zenly to build out their product, their map product, right? They also had some great battery technology. Google bought DoubleClick to expand their offerings in the early days around the advertising space, right? And that worked out pretty well for them, right? Facebook bought Instagram to solve a mobile problem that they had. Why does someone specifically buy you? Specifically, right? You get the big bucks when multiple buyers want you and a bidding war starts. And a bidding war is awesome. It's not the most likely outcome you're going to get, but you can wish and try and optimize for that to happen, okay? Acquisitions don't just happen, they're engineered though, okay? Most common is you start working with a company on, say, an API integration, channel partnership, business dev stuff, right? You illustrate your value, then they start thinking, I might like to own that. Then the question comes over the transom. Hey, Alex, have you ever thought about selling? Then you know you're onto something interesting, right? Don't be too eager though. But that's where you kind of get to, right? They don't just randomly email you and say, hey, Alex, have you thought about selling? By the way, I run a company, Jim, right? It doesn't happen like that. You need to understand the pain points of potential acquirers, okay? And that's why they're going to buy you, because they have a problem. Now, what are you doing that they will need? What is a gap in their product feature set, right? You're going to gain the most credibility if you know senior people at big organizations and have had encouraging off-the-record talks with them, right? Getting some insight, maybe you start changing your product roadmap to kind of, appeal to that, etc. But even better is if, they have insinuated that they would quit to join you when you can afford them, okay? I mean, like if they're really excited about your product, maybe you get them in and then, Amazon or whatever buys you in order to get that talent back in their company, right? Admittedly, they'll just be a little bit richer and probably less motivated, but having people on your side who know those competition, or sorry, not competition, but your potential acquirers, that's really useful, okay? So if you get asked this question by a VC, what do you need to say, okay? As usual, this is just made up mumbo jumbo to help you start thinking about how you'd answer this, okay? But of course, think about this for your own specific situation. So maybe pause, think, and see how you would do it before you hear something I'm going to say. Up to you. Pause now if you want. Okay? Bye. Okay, welcome back. I don't know if you did it or not. Just want to listen to me talk endlessly, but hey, okay. So what do you need to say? All right. Well, companies buy startups because they solve a problem for them, right? Clearly, Adobe would be a great example. So let's discuss the logic of one example. We can get into this in more detail depending on the time we have, okay? More than happy to. We are building the simplest, easiest to use graphic design product designed specifically for web and mobile, not the desktop. Adobe's Creative Suite is amazing, okay? But it's really hard to use for the average person. We believe that simplicity is the next phase of desktop publishing. Now, ease of use expands the market beyond creatives that have had training, right? to the mass market, crossing that chasm from a already huge market into an even bigger one. Can you imagine like your mother and father being able to actually do quality design themselves? That's kind of where our vision of where we want to get to. Now, Adobe is not easy to use, and building such a product does not fit their strategy and their unit economics. Okay? Buying us would enable them to expand their product range without the innovator's dilemma. Furthermore, they expand into additional customer segments, which will not impact their channel partners. And I know they're stressed out about keeping those channel partners really happy, since it contributes to about 37% of their new leads and the retention. Okay. Now, I know someone at Adobe, and they gave me an off-the-record nod that they might be interested in us if we built a large enough user base. Interestingly enough, he's pretty excited about our product and said, once we get past our maybe Series A and we've got enough money to afford him, he'd actually be interested in jumping on board. And, given the insight he has, I think he'd bring an enormous amount of experience to us, but also set us up to have more positive or interesting dialogues with Adobe in future years if we get to the point where they might buy us. That's just an example. More than happy to talk about more about how we're building, and this is gonna how this will kind of make it easier for our competitors but potential acquirers. Do you think this kind of makes sense? Okay, guys, that's the end of that question. If you would love to listen to more content, hit the next button on YouTube or get the next episode on the podcast. We've got 10 more of these things coming now, I think. Please like, share, whatever, all that social stuff if you liked it, but only if you like it. All right, bye. Bye, guys.